Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen, and boy are y'all in for a treat today. One day I was on the set of Paula's home cooking when I got a phone call, and what a surprise. It was from an old friend and our 39th President of the United States, Mr. Jimmy Carter. He was calling to renew his invitation because he was hoping that I could come back to his hometown of Plains, Georgia. Mr. Jimmy! I'm fine, darling. How are you? Y'all, I was so excited to be talking to Mr. Jimmy again. You know, the first time I visited with him, I realized that, well, we really did have a lot in common. In fact, he enjoyed the food I made so much that he invited me to come back and cook with him and Miss Rosalind. Oh, listen, Mr. Jimmy, I'm coming. Come hell or high water, I'm coming. So today, I'm gonna hop on a train and I'm heading to Plains, Georgia to meet Mr. and Ms. Jimmy Carter and to test his presidential cooking skills by cooking up some of his favorite dishes in his own kitchen. Dishes that he and I both grew up on, like smothered quail with creamy grits. And for dessert, Miss Rosalind, Mr. Jimmy, and I are going to be making these scrumptious little desserts called Pecan Tassies. But before we get to baking, y'all, I begged Mr. Jimmy to give us a personal tour of his boyhood home. What a treat. So don't go anywhere, y'all, because this lady is joining Jimmy Carter and his first lady for an intimate Southern dinner at home.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
You came to see me on the train.
I did. I rode your train. How are you?
It's good to see you again.
It's so good to see you.
I'm looking forward to showing you my house.
I want to see your house.
Where I grew up.
I want to see your bedroom.
All right, that's a deal.
Take me to your bedroom.
I'll take you all the way back to the house. It's an invite.
This is a beautiful little house, Mr. Jimmy.
This was a living room, and we built a fire in here for special occasions. And Daddy would let me lie in front of the fireplace until the clock struck 8, and I would turn on the battery radio and listen to Glenn Miller for 15 minutes. And my mother nursed quite often 20 hours a day. So when my sister Gloria and I would come home from school, Mother would have instructions for us on this desk. Sweep the yards, bring in stove wood, feed the chickens, things like that. So we quite often wouldn't see our mother because she was living in somebody else's house as a nurse for 20 hours a day, and she came home just to change clothes and do some things like that. So later, after I came home from the White House, we would tease my mother that we thought this black desk was our mother for a long time. It's a nice, and this is a hall down that divides the house in two parts exactly. The first room on the right was my parents' home. When I was 11 years old, Daddy put a windmill up, and we had running water in the house for the first time. And Daddy cut off part of the bedroom and made a bathroom here. Come here, I'll show you. Daddy put in this bucket that's got holes in the bottom, and so the water would come from a coal windmill tank and fall in the bucket, and you could stand under here and take a shower.
Unreal. So it worked like a shower.
Well, it was a shower, sure. You want me to stay there? I'll show you.
You can turn it on.
Absolutely, if you turn that valve.
Oh no, I would freeze to death.
No.
So this is where you took most of your meals.
Yeah.
Now there was 5 of y'all.
Right.
But I only see 3 places.
Well,
so
the other chairs are here though. We had 5.
So y'all just.
Yeah, 2 of us sat over here, 2 of us sat here, and Daddy sat there.
And that was Dad's place.
That's right. And this is where all the cooking was done, and obviously had a warming place up where you could keep stuff all during the day. And this is where we kept the stove wood, because obviously the fire in the stove was with wood. Would you like to see my bedroom?
I'd love to see your
Not
bedroom.
much to it. This is my bedroom, the coldest place in the house. As I said, the cold winters is what I remember most unfavorably.
You had more covers than this, didn't you?
No, we had comforters, with a goose down. And we would have to pick the geese twice a year, and Daddy would would take the down and have comforters made of it, so that kept it
So
pretty
it was,
warm.
down is very, very warm.
It was, and sometimes Mama would wrap a brick, heat it in the fire, and wrap it in the towels and put it in the
And
bottom.
put it in your
Just,
feet.
yeah. Why don't we go out, let me show you the back
Okay.
porch. This was a working place. You know, this farm was the foundation of my life, and we had a kind of a haven as a close-knit family.
Well, if you had to choose one thing to credit your political success to, what would that be?
Well, I think the love and care that I had for my family instilled confidence in me that I could do whatever I set my mind to. And I had a typical farmer's determination. Once you start something, never give up. I was very tenacious about things. But I would say that it was my connection with Plains, with our family farm, with our churches, with our neighbors. So I always felt that I had a foundation of my life. Plains was a stabilizing factor in my life.
I really understand.
Paula, why don't I show you the rest of the farm?
I'd love to
All
see
right,
it.
let's go.
Throw in anything?
No, he worked too hard. This on Saturday afternoons, we would open this commissary and pay off the workers for the week. And then they would get their groceries and their overalls and their shoes and
So this was y'all's store?
yeah, kind of a basic supply where people could get, you know, flour and lard and sugar and coffee and we sold gasoline for about 16 to 20 cents a gallon.
Well, speaking of the farm.
Want to see the rest of it?
Yes, sir.
Well, how don't we take a walk?
Let's go. I'm with you.
All right. Well, we property shop. That first little one, yeah, we'll see it in a minute. A little small one, and that's just work. Why don't we walk down and take a look?
I would love to. Wow, still work.
It still works. It's full of water now. The tank is. Well, I'm glad you've enjoyed a visit to the farm.
I have. This has been very special being with you, having you all to myself, but you know what?
I
There's-
know what you're thinking of. Rosalind's waiting
there's
for us.
another woman we have to
I know.
consider.
And she's probably getting hungry.
I
so
bet
am I.
she's hungry.
You think we could cook something
yes,
for her or something?
I'm ready to cook for her.
Let's go.
Okay.
When we come back, y'all, I'm gonna be in the kitchen with Mr. Jimmy. Welcome back, everybody. In case you've just joined us, I'm here in the home of Mr. and Miss Jimmy Carter, cooking up some of his boyhood favorites, like smothered quail and creamy grits. But first, I had something I wanted to give my favorite Southern gentleman.
I brought you something from the Lady and Sons.
All right.
You can't cook without an apron. And look what it says.
All right. Look at that.
Hail to the chef. And
That's
that would
great.
be you.
Very nice. Well,
All right, turn around and let me dress you.
All right.
Hail to the chef with
All
best
right.
dishes and love from Paula Deen. All
I
right,
like
let's
that.
get started. Are
All
you a
right.
good cook?
I used to be a good cook, and still a
Really?
cook. Yeah, I cook quail. I know how to cook grits.
Well,
And,
I'll just stand
I know how
back
to
and
cook-
let you
no,
do it.
You're the boss.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 cups of water
All right.
and 1.25 cups of milk. Now, do you put milk in your grits?
No, but I'm willing to try it.
Okay. Well, to me, it just makes them creamier.
All
I
right.
love creamy grits. And it's important, you know, to salt your...
In
Look
advance.
at, you're supposed to be doing this,
advance.
and I'm up there doing it.
All right, but we
That's
forgot one
exact-
thing. We forgot the grits.
Well, there's the grits, but
All
we
right.
got to wait for the water
All
to
right.
boil. And plus, we're going to put some butter in there, too, to ensure that kind of keeps our grits separated.
all right.
So if you want to put a couple of tablespoons of butter,
All right.
and you can go ahead and give me, well, I've got some butter over here. I'll go ahead and get my own butter over here because I'm going to get our quail started.
Absolutely.
What you're going to do, I think your pan's good and hot.
It is.
You're going to throw in 1/2 cup of celery.
Is this
Yes,
is more
sir. No, that's
all of it?
1/2 cup, all of that.
than... All right.
And it's 1/2 cup of mushrooms. It looks like more,
It
but
does.
look at this saute man go, y'all.
Okay. And onions too?
Yes, sir. And the onions.
Wow.
Well, it's going to have a lot of flavors going on in it. And it's going to produce that wonderful, wonderful gravy.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Jimmy, you're boiling now.
All right. That's true. It really is boiling.
Yes, sir.
This will cool it down
We
a
gonna
little
ha-
bit.
yeah,
Then I'm gonna
that-
then I'll turn the heat down.
Then we'll have to turn it down. Now this is the important spot right here for stirring. It's important that you stir those
I will.
real good, right? Like right now.
You want me to stir it with...
Or they'll clump. Look at here. This makes the best grit stirrer right there because it separates them. Oh, those are going to be wonderful grits.
First ones I ever had with milk in it.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to
Well,
it.
you know, if there's a way to add a calorie, Paula can do it. So we got our quail over here,
Right.
Mr. Jimmy, in our casserole dish. And you can see we're not going to fry those or anything. We're going to make this wonderful sauce over here to go on them.
Oh, I see. So make the sauce over here and put on the quail.
Yes, sir. And what you need to do right now is just toss in that flour, kind of just shake it like you would salt,
Yeah, I know.
and stir. And that's going to make everything tight for us.
Right. I'm getting hungry already.
I'm hungry too. Perfect.
And this is just a simple browning sauce, y'all, and it's going to help give our gravy some color.
Ooh wee!
How is it?
It's yummy. Stick your finger in it.
It's not too hot. That is great.
Okay, Mr. Jimmy, bring that on over
You ready
here.
for it?
And let's pour it over our quail.
Oh, wow.
Right there. Right there. All right, so Mr.
You
Jimmy,
want me
yes, sir.
I'll do that.
Grab the tin foil, and we're going to cover it. All right, now I'm going to just smear this
All right.
evenly over there.
Show
know-
it outside.
Yes, sir. All right, let's put this in the oven, and we're gonna keep an eye on the time, and we're gonna let that cook for 20 minutes.
It's got a timer on it.
Okay, good. After 20 minutes, we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna take the liquid and mix it with some sour cream, and then pour it back over those quail.
All right.
And when we come back, y'all, the First Lady is going to be joining us to help bake up some scrumptious Pecan Tassies. Welcome back to my very special time with Mr. and Miss Carter, and I'm inside their beautiful home in Plains, Georgia. While Mr. Jimmy's smothered quail is baking, I want to make some Southern Pecan Tassies. So I got Miss Rosalind started on the sweet pecan filling, and then Mr. Jimmy and I got to work on the crust.
All right, Miss Rosalind, what I want you to do is take your brown sugar and just dump it in your bowl. And I'm gonna pour the melted butter over it, about a half a stick of melted butter. And now if you'll break your eggs into another bowl, you wanna break your eggs and put them in a bowl first in case it turns out that it's not such a good egg. So rather than messing up our dish, we're gonna crack one egg at the time and then just toss them over in there. All right, now all you need to do is mix that together, and then I got you a 10-ounce bag of like toffee bits and a cup of pecans, and add a teaspoon of vanilla to it. Our filling is gonna be ready to go. So y'all can see how easy this is. It's really like a pecan pie filling. Right. And Mr. Jimmy, what I need for you to do is unroll this pie crust.
You mind if I put a little
No,
flour?
sir. No, sir. There's you some flour, and look, I even got a smiley face on that flour
noticed that.
waiting on you. So all we're doing here is using just a refrigerator pie crust because it's good and it's so easy and so simple. So all you have to do is take your biscuit cutter,
All right.
dip it in your flour, and then just take your cutter and go around, and I'll put your pie crust in for you. Just stick your finger in there. There you go. And push it out, and I'll bring them over here. Perfect. All right, so now we've all got our jobs.
Good production.
Yes, it is. But we've got some time on our hands while we're doing our little tassies.
All right.
So why don't we gossip?
Oh, that's a good idea. You know any good,
Y'all tell me
interesting
some.
gossip?
I don't know. I was counting on you to tell me.
Well, I can tell you, we had been in the Navy after we got married for 7 years, and I had the best job in the Navy. I was working for Admiral Rickover, developing the second atomic submarine, and I came home when my father was dying, And I saw life in Plains, Georgia, and I saw what my father meant to the community. And I just decided, I don't know why, to get out of the Navy. And I had always meant for it to be my life career. And I went back to Schenectady in New York and told Rosalynn that we were getting out of the Navy. And she didn't like it. I mean, that's putting it mildly. So we finally got cleared from the Navy, and we drove home from Schenectady to Plains, about almost 900 miles. She never spoke to me all the way to Plains.
I've heard this story a lot of time. I don't believe it.
It is true. When she wanted, if she had to go to the bathroom, she'd say, "Jack, tell your daddy I need to go to the bathroom."
That's not true.
I remember it well.
Why did you not want him to leave the Navy?
Because I was enjoying it. He had really good duty. He had one 3-month cruise in that 7 years. And we had 2 years in Hawaii. I mean, it was fun.
Oh
We were
my goodness,
traveling
that
around
was
the country.
fabulous, wasn't it?
Kind of slow, but perfect.
Perfect.
That's kind of my life.
That's right. Do you still use the old-timey
Well, actually,
pecan cracker?
in my wood shop, I made one that cracks pecans.
That you put it like that
Yeah.
and do it like that?
Because I'm a furniture maker, so it wasn't hard to make.
Now, what kind of nuts are these? Are these
Those
slices?
look like slides. We
That's
used to
what
call
I
them paper
thought.
shells when I was
Paper shells?
Paper
They're
shells
not
are
so
slow.
hard to crack.
It's hard to shell them as fast as some people eat.
Oh, really? Who would you be talking about?
Well, do you think the quail's about ready?
Yes, sir. I think they're probably about ready.
Okay, and the grits are ready. All right.
And the tassies, we're going to probably cook them for about 12 minutes. And Miss Rosalynn, if you want to go get comfortable, Mr. Jimmy and I are going to wait on you tonight. And
Oh,
we're
my
going to
goodness.
pull this meal together.
Okay.
Now, where do y'all normally eat, Miss Rosalynn?
Well, when we're at home by ourselves, we eat with trays and sit on the sofa.
Wonderful. Can we do that tonight for tonight's meal?
She's a boss.
Well, you're,
That's right, I forgot. May we eat in there?
but your company will put your little table.
Oh, I'm not company.
We're glad
I
you're
want to
here.
be treated
We're
like
glad you're here.
family.
Great.
Okay.
That's good.
So,
Okay, Rosie, you go relax. We'll get this supper ready.
Okay, that sounds great.
why don't you get the TV trays ready for us?
Okay.
And then we'll have everything else, and you sit down and just look pretty.
I'll sit down.
You know, y'all, I can't believe my life sometimes. Being invited back to Plains, Georgia to cook and dine with our 39th president, Mr. Jimmy. He and I made a delicious meal from his boyhood days. Smothered baked quail and creamy grits, while Miss Rosalynn topped our dinner off making these wonderful little sweet pecan tassies. And just in case there was any doubt, the Carters really are as simple and warm as any Southerners you could meet. In fact, it seems so natural for just the three of us to sit there and enjoy our meal the way the two of them pretty much do every night. When they're not entertaining, that is.
So what do you think of the meal, Mr. Jimmy?
Well, this is one of the best meals I've ever had.
Are you serious?
No, the recipes are wonderful, and the chefs obviously are consummate.
I totally agree. Who's ready for dessert?
I am.
I am too. Isn't that yummy?
That is really great. How'd you like Plains?
You know I love Plains.
You know you don't need an invitation to come back to Plains, but
Thank you.
this is something we rarely give out, and that's a key
No.
to the city of Plains.
No,
It
Mr.
says City
Jimmy.
of Plains on it, and we want you to feel that even when I'm not here and Rosa's not here, and we don't invite you special, just come on over
You're
because you
kidding.
now are a citizen of Plains,
How
Georgia.
sweet. No. Does this fit the vault?
You can, if it doesn't, you just tell anybody they'll do what you want.
Y'all are
And
both
thank you
so
for coming,
wonderful.
and thank you for these dishes. They're really
Oh, you're
beautiful.
welcome. You know, these are by Gail Pittman, and I just love her work. And I'm overcome. I don't think I have a key to any city.
Well, you do now.
Y'all are so sweet and so special to me.
Thank you.
This is really going to be a hard close. This is going to be hard for me to say goodbye today. Because the time has been so special.
It has for us.
I'm truly had the privilege of sitting here with some of the most wonderful people in America. They never forgot from where they came, and they do everything in their power to be their brother's keeper. I'm truly sitting right next to the greatest humanitarian walking the face of the earth today. And y'all are so kind to let me come into your home and share with the world out there just exactly the kind of people you are. And I don't know what else to say other than I love y'all, and I love my time with you. And until next time, America, the Carters and I wish you best dishes from our kitchen to yours.
You've blessed our home. Thank you.
Thank you.